Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back. It's Travis here with JT Wealth. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to supercharge your retirement no matter where you are in the process and potentially save up to $200,000 or more in the total number you need for financial independence in your retirement plan. So let's get into it. Alright guys, welcome back. Thanks for checking out today's video. Hopefully you find some value in it. If you do, smash the like button for me and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And if you've been watching the channel long enough, you'll know that I don't only do stock type videos, we also focus on FIRE or Financial Independence Retire Early. But beyond that, we just talk about financial independence and financial education. You don't have to retire early. As long as your plan is to retire, this video will help you. So much goes into the discussion of retirement, how to retire, the taxes behind retirement, whether or not you're going to continue working, but just for yourself or maybe a side hobby, how you're going to afford insurance. There's so many different pieces, and I won't pretend to get into all of those in today's video. But what we are going to focus on is that FI number, or your financial independence number. It's the number that you need to have in your investment accounts to know that you can withdraw from that account every single year and still be okay. Usually it runs for about 30 years. And the old adage was 4%. Whatever you had in that investment account, you could withdraw 4% of that and it would last you for at least 30 years through retirement. But as it turns out, that rule is seriously outdated, and that is the focus of today's video. We are going to change that rule to a complete different number. The new number could change your financial independence number drastically, saving you, like I mentioned in the intro, over $200,000 depending on where your FI sits. So check this out, guys. An Investor's Business Daily article came out not too long ago saying, is the 4% rule too high? And the rule inventor, yes, the rule inventor says it should actually be the 4.7% rule. So this is not just me telling you willy-nilly to change the percent number. The actual gentleman who created the 4% number said his understanding of it or the way he explained it was misinterpreted, and people have not updated the guidance in a long time. This gentleman's name is William Bengen. Let's take a look. And there's Mr. Bengen for you, William Bengen again. He's a retired financial advisor who was the first one to come up with the 4% withdrawal rate, or the 4% rule, as a rule of thumb for withdrawal rates from your retirement savings. Now, Mr. Bengen has gone on to update his numbers to the 4.5% rule or the 4.1% rule, depending on if it's taxable. And that was done some odd years ago. But he's back to say, hey, at this point, with where the market's gone, with how you should have been updating this 4% rule every single year, we are now at the 4.7% rule. Now, there's a lot of skeptics out there that are constantly worrying about far more than they need to worry about, and it's good to come in at a higher number rather than a lower number. So if that's your goal, there's no problems with that whatsoever. But what Mr. Bengen wants you to know is that his 4% rule was created as the worst possible scenario for your investment account. And as people have been applying the 4% rule, they've made absolutely no allowances for the fact that we are in no way, shape, or form in a worst case scenario market, nor have we been in one for over 20 years. So how and when did this rule come about? I'm going to let you actually read it along with me so you can see I'm not just making this stuff up, guys. So how it became the 4.7% rule? Well, it became the 4% rule, and the 4% version of Bengen's rule was based on financial conditions in the late 1960s. Now, that period posed a worst-case scenario of plunging markets and soaring inflation, and Bengen showed that if a retiree withdrew 4% of their savings in the first year of retirement, and then added a percentage equal to inflation each year after that, their savings would still last them 30 years. But the worst case scenario conditions improved after that, and Bengen has been updating his conclusions. Retirees could start with a first year withdrawal of 4.7%. Now, for the purposes of today's video, I created a set of numbers that we're going to use and take a look at how applying the 4.7% rule in lieu of the 4% rule can speed up the time it takes you to reach financial independence and retire. Whether you are 35 years old or 55 years old, it doesn't matter. Applying this metric will show you how 4.7% can really speed up the ability for you to retire sooner with more confidence. So what we're going to do in today's video is apply a $60,000 retirement income requirement. And now this is for an individual, but say you could do it for a couple as well. But we're running off $60,000 simply for the purpose of today's video. You obviously may have a higher or lower retirement income requirement that is completely personal, and I can't touch on everybody's scenario all at once, but you'll get the idea. So the total investment required to withdraw $60,000 a year, if you applied the old 4% rule, would be $1.5 million. Although the 4.7% rule would allow you to withdraw the same amount with only $1.277 million. That's a savings of $223,000. How much sooner do you think you could retire if you didn't need to save an additional $223,000? All right, guys, and now we're going to use some calculators that I pulled from the Dave Ramsey website. I just wanted to let you know where these came from, so you didn't think they're my personal calculators. You guys can go over to his website and use the exact same ones, put in your numbers, and see what comes up. So for entering our information into this website, we use a current age of 50 years old. Then we entered the age you plan to retire as 51, because we want to assume that however much money we have right now is where we're going to stop. This is how much we have, and it's going to last us for retirement, right? So if you're 50 years old and you have $1,277,000 in your investment accounts, and you expect the annual return to be about 7%, which I think is fairly respectable, right? Over the last 100 or so years, we're looking at about a 10% S&P 500 on the average. And we're not going to contribute anything else at all to this account. Well, in 1 year time, the initial balance of $1,277,000 with zero extra contributions grew $92,314 based again on that 7% total. I'm sorry, that 7% annual percentage yield that it's receiving from the markets. And hopefully you're catching on that a $92,000 growth in the account you've got is much more than the $60,000 you require every year. So let's look at that. The first year of retirement, ups and downs. Your retirement account is going to start, like we said, at $1,277,000 because we're applying that 4.7% rule. So it's allowing us to retire significantly sooner. Now, if your account grew by $92,314 as the previous image showed, and you withdrew $60,000, the amount you think you'll need to last a year on retirement, your total new retirement account balance is $1,309,314. So our gentleman or lady who may or may not be 50 years old or 51 when they retire, they retired faster by applying the 4.7% rule, and then they withdrew the $60,000, the amount that they knew they were going to need, but their investment account somehow grew. This is what we're talking about, guys. The ability for your retirement account to continue to grow even while withdrawing 4.7%. You do not need to wait nearly as long as you'd think to get them. All right, but we looked at the first year. Let's look at year 2 and 3 just to make sure we're not missing anything. So going into the second year, we've got our initial balance now at $1,309,314. Okay, that 1 year, adding $0 to the account, it will grow by $94,650. Again, significantly more than what you need to withdraw, but say you update your withdrawals now, your second year of retirement, ups and downs, you're still going to withdraw 4.7%. But with your initial amount being higher and the amount your account grew by also being higher, you're now withdrawing $61,537, slightly more than your first year of retirement. But look at the total new retirement account balance. It is now $1,342,427. You are still not even touching your balance. It is continuing to grow by over $30,000 a year. Now our third year, you've got that initial balance going into the third year at $1,342,427, and it is going to grow without adding a single penny to $97,044 extra in that year. Meaning for our third year of retirement ups and downs, we started with that amount. Our account grew by almost $100,000, guys. And now again at 4.7%, we're withdrawing $6,394. That's almost like saying we're growing by $1,000 a year in what we're withdrawing. And sure, inflation is going to eat up some of that. But nonetheless, you've got a setup where you're growing your withdrawal retirement amount every year without hurting your balance. You're actually continuously growing your balance. Look at our total new retirement account balance after we withdraw for our third year. $1,376,377. Now, at that rate that we're just seeing for those 3 years, you literally would go from your $1,277,000 all the way up to $1.5 million in less than 10 years. So if you retired at 50 or 51, by the time you were 60, your retirement account would be at that $1.5 million level you thought you needed on the 4% rule, but meanwhile, you've been retired this whole time. You can pursue whatever passion projects you have, travel the world, spend it with family while you still have the health and the vigor to do so. This is available to you just by tinkering with the math ever so slightly. Oh, did we mention this is all happening hopefully for you well before you even get to Social Security? Well, in 2021, all retired workers on average were pulling $1,553 per month on their Social Security benefits. Now, the average couple who were both receiving benefits were getting closer to $2,596. And again, that is per month. Now, as far as age goes, when you can begin getting your Social Security retirement benefits, that's as early as age 62. But that will reduce your benefits by as much as 30% below what you would get if you wait until your full retirement age. And for most people, that full retirement age is going to be 66 years old. Also, if you can wait until you're 70 years old, they will actually increase your benefit because you're earning delayed retirement credits. That is not something I would recommend doing, but it is available to you. Personally, my plan as far as Social Security goes, the second they're willing to give me money, I'm taking it, because that's less I have to withdraw from my retirement accounts, which means my retirement accounts will continue to grow at a higher rate because of compounding interest. Leaving Social Security in there, regardless of whether or not it's 30% less, 30% more, that doesn't really significantly benefit me. It's not growing an account for me, so it's not anything I'm super worried about. All right, guys, that's it for today's video. Super simple. Just wanted to bring that information to you guys for anybody out there who's thinking about retiring at any point in time, whether you're a year away or 30 years away. The sooner you start applying some of these plans and metrics to reach your financial independence number, which of course requires a budget and all sorts of other things, but nonetheless, if that's why you're watching this video, I'm sure you're on schedule and already have a budget and know where you're going with this type of stuff. So I wanted to get it to you. Hopefully you find some value in it. Hopefully it can speed up your retirement so that you can spend more time with your family or doing the things you love instead of showing up and checking that clock every day for 8 hours so that somebody else can make more money, right? All right, guys, again, thanks for checking out the video. Smash the like button for me if you haven't already, and consider subscribing to the channel. Until next time, bottoms up.